Well, Norwich City continue doing what they do very well in the Championship, and that's win football match. It's becoming quite the occurrence, isn't it? 6 wins in a row for Dean Smith's side. It takes us to second in the Championship table, just Sheffield United above us. And I must say, at this point in the season, what are we, 8 games in, something like that, it does feel as if, 9 games in, it does feel as if Sheffield United and Norwich are the standout sides in this division. We're now 4 points clear of third place Blackburn, which is nice. It felt as if this was going to be the biggest test of the season so far against the Bristol City side that had won 5 of their last 6 matches. They were 4th before playing them tonight, and I think they were the toughest test. I still don't think we ever looked like not winning it, and I know that might sound strange considering the last 10 were nervy, and I think that was down to a couple of poor refereeing decisions. Norwich City maybe not being quite as clinical as they could and probably should have been, but it never felt like there was too much danger coming our way. It's amazing that Teemu Pukki, has almost been in the shadow of Josh Sargent this season, which feels baffling to say considering it's Teemu Pukki. But again, another really well taken couple of goals this evening, and it's so beautiful just seeing Teemu Pukki run off the shoulder of defenders. It's the Pukki we know, it's the Pukki we love, and when you've got the ability to utilise Teemu, he will score goals in this division. It's as simple as that. If you keep him fit, he scores goals. The beautiful thing, again, is we talked about it in the preview, we talked about it in the lead up to the Coventry game, was how do you best utilise Josh Sargent and Teemu Pukki in the same setup, because it feels as if you play both, one of those players will be harmed, because naturally they both want to be playing through the middle. Again, Josh Sargent was shifted out to the wing this evening. He looked quiet, or quieter than he does when he was playing through the middle. He's not a winger, it's as simple as that, and I think playing him on the wing isn't the ideal, but he pops up with a goal. It was a really well taken header. It looked actually from my angle like it was an own goal, but it was a Josh Sargent header. So Pukki with 2, Sargent with 1. Going into the start of this season, it's madness to look back now, but for me the worry was, where do the goals come from? Is Pukki the striker that he once was? He's ageing. Was he even going to be here? Josh Sargent, we'd seemingly all written off. And at the moment, scoring goals is the least of our worries. We're doing it with ease. We're creating chances. So really pleasing to get 3 points on the board. And I must say, it's amazing. We're 6 wins on the bounce, and it still doesn't feel as if that we're at our full potential yet. We're missing a couple of really key players. I think Dimitri Anoulis is a massive loss. The midfield still concerns me slightly, but it's pleasing to know that we've got Liam Gibbs and Isaac Hayden that will hopefully be returning possibly by the end of this month. And I was saying, and this isn't any disrespect to Bristol City, because I think they were okay for periods of that game. But if they're capable of stringing 5 wins together, I don't have too much fear for the rest of this season. Now, we still have Burnley to play, we still have Sheffield United to play, we still have Watford to play. I thought that West Brom was going to be a difficult game this weekend. They got beaten by Blackburn this evening. They're without a win in 5 or 6 games, and they're currently 20th in the division. So we know that this is a weak division. But Norwich City are doing all they need to do. I think there may well be criticism this evening that it wasn't very pretty. To be honest, I don't really care. Norwich City are winning football matches. They're winning them on a regular basis. And not a single point during the last few games has it looked like anything other than a win. The concern is the midfield for me. I think Marcelino Núñez is a fantastic player. Does give the ball away on occasions. Thankfully, we're yet to really be punished this season, maybe barring their second goal that I don't think should have stood. It was a really poor refereeing decision to let that one stand. But there was a period when we went 2-0 up from the 25th minute to half time, where you really should be seeing that out. And it was disappointing to go into the break with it only being 2-1, because it felt as if we could have closed the game out before half-time, like we kind of did against Coventry. We were unable to do that today because we just couldn't retain possession, and it felt as if Bristol City were building, and they did, and they got their goal through Conway. It was a nicely taken goal in the end. And again, when you go 3-1 up, close the game out, score a fourth. We had a chance with Teemu Pukki, we had a chance with Daniel Sinani. I know they'd already scored at that point, but just shut it out, and instead they scored through Semenya, which was disappointing. But we won, and we build again. It's West Brom coming up on Saturday, and then it's Blackpool and Reading, and then Preston. This could become quite a lengthy run if we continue to play in the way that we have been, and I think that's really pleasing. And I really like the fact that Teemu Pukki and Josh Sargent are working together. I'm slightly concerned. I haven't watched any of Dean Smith's interviews as of yet. I know Grant Hanley went off. I assume that was down to injury. Sam Byram looked like he was hobbling a little bit at the end. So, look, it's important that we keep players fit because we've already got a fairly lengthy injury list. But it really excites me, the fact that Hayden's still not played. Gabriel Sara still isn't up to his best. You've got Daniel Sinani, who I think there's more to come from. Ono Hernandez, who, there's still more from him. It feels like we're still only operating at about 60%. And we're still second in the Championship. Let me know your thoughts on tonight's game. A good win against Bristol City. Norwich second in the table, 4 points clear of third placed Blackburn. Onwards to Saturday. Hope to see some of you there. And take care, everyone. Bye-bye.